So the other day, I was watching a podcast, the Iced Coffee Hour, and it's a business podcast. They bring on many types of guests, but it's always helping you in the realm of some type of business practice. And they had on Shark Tank legend Kevin O'Leary, aka Mr. Wonderful. Now, if you don't watch Shark Tank, he's known for being more cutthroat, more direct with his deals. So he's trying to get as much as he can out of a deal. And it seems like he has a good heart, but for the most part, he has amazing business acumen. And for the aspect of this episode, I want to talk about something he said on said podcast. And to summarize, it basically said that consultants don't really have skin in the game. And what he meant by this is they'll walk into an entity, whether it's a company, a sports team, whatever they're doing to help that organization, give the advice, they'll give the input, they'll help what they're helping, and they'll go about their business. But they don't really have to make decisions that have dire consequences. The entrepreneur or the organization does. Now, he said they can make a lot of money, $2-3 million, and who wouldn't want to make that? But at the end, it's not the same. Now, bring it over to sports psychology or just mental performance as a whole, because that's what we talk about here on this channel. It's almost the same thing. Now, from the business side, yes, the advice or the consulting that you give is to help the organization, but at the end, whatever happens next is on them, not you. And we talk about your clientele, whether it's athletes, tactical athletes, business CEOs, whatever it may be, it's kind of the same premise. So if we use like athletes, you give them the insight to their game or their match or whatever they're doing, and then they go out there and they win or lose. For them, depending on the level, that can mean scholarships, that can mean NIL money, that can mean a contract with a team, that can mean their career. There's a lot riding on what you're helping to guide them with. Now, you're not the end all be all. Obviously, they have to go out there and make it happen. If it's a sport, they have their performance coaches, their sport coaches, their strength coaches. They have a lot of different people that play into their performance. But once again, what are you invested in? And the reason I want to bring this all up is something I talk about a lot here, is it can't just be the whole, here's some skills, here's some techniques, here's some facts, because those are great for the foundation of your knowledge, but how do you deliver them or make them appear to the client where it's worth them investing? Because once again, you have no skin in the game and they know that. And it's going to be some kind of divide where they're not going to buy in fully, even if they like what you're talking about, even if they appreciate you as a person. Because I think that's where the misconception in this industry is. These athletes, these clientele, whoever they are, they'll respect you for the most part, especially if they're paying out of their own pocket. But if they're not, and they're through an organization, if you work for a college team or a pro team or any type of team that they're not paying themselves, at minimum, you got their buy-in for the simple fact that their coach said do it. But that's not enough. So if you tell them self-talk is about ... or confidence building is ... grace, gratitude, all these buzzwords that you find appealing, to them, they're just jargon. How do you get them to buy in? You need to put some skin in the game. And how do you do that? This is a great question. And many ask me, how do I get the buy-in I get? Because a lot of times people see me, I bring a presence, whether it's my physical appearance, whether it's my knowledge base, or how do I communicate the information? But the simplest way I can say this is, you need to get them to learn, but you shouldn't teach them. I know that sounds very counterproductive, because how can they learn if you don't teach them? Well, maybe you don't teach them in the conventional sense of, here's the lesson, here's the skill, and you need to follow it. That's typically what we do. I've had many interns watch me do what I do, command the room, and step up after me and do the more cookie cutter stuff, don't get that kind of feedback from the audience, and then watch me come back in and wrap it all up and get that feedback again. And they're like bewildered. Well, I guess I did what I was supposed to do. And that's the problem. What you're supposed to do is what they've told you, taught you in the sense of theory. It's the classic case of the business teacher that's never ran a business or a successful business, or they're just giving you what they think would work based off of their academics. And that's the same issue we have here in the mental performance industry. So going back to my point, getting them to learn, that buy-in, that skin in the game, I've walked the walk. Not just saying I was a high-level athlete or anything like that. I was moderate, or as a kid say, I was mid. But the fact is, I've overcome a lot of personal struggles, business struggles. There's something in my voice that they hear. So I got to ask you, what skin in the game do you have? Doesn't mean you have to go create a business like I did and have to pay people and worry about payroll, rent, all this overhead. But it's asking you to do something that demands the type of intensity that you would expect for them to do. If you can't do that yourself, why would they believe you? That's what it comes down to. We have thousands of kids going through grad programs right now, and their hardest struggle was deciding which master's program or PhD program they're going to apply to next. Or if they did play at a high level, yeah, sports struggles are hard, but what are you really losing? Like, let's go beyond that. I'm not saying you have to have the hardest life ever, but I'm saying there has to be something there that shows you have something to lose. And that edge is what gets you the buy-in that you cannot get from a school, that you cannot get from a book, that you can't get from a research paper. It's the ability to resonate with the population. And if you cannot do that, and I'm not saying you can't or can, it's something definitely comes with time. But if you're not doing the things that bring that kind of time to you, what can you expect, right? It's not just doing assignments, doing research studies with your mentors. That's great. I've done all that stuff. But that edge is literally like, I hate to use a cliche term, like saying dating. The guy who gets the girl usually is the one who has a little edge. It's not the guy doing all his homework, the guy doing all things by the book. It's sad in that aspect. I wish it wasn't that way, but in this aspect, it should be that way. You got to be the one breaking the rules just a little bit, learning things the hard way to some degree. It doesn't mean do all the wrong things, but there's got to be some dirt on your hands. If there isn't, you're clean, squeaky clean, they're going to see right through you. And while they'll tolerate you and respect you because you're in front of them, and most athletes or most people that you're going to work with aren't going to give you that much, it doesn't mean they care. And that's what this is about. You can't get the buy-in, you can't get the results if they don't care. So going back to Kevin O'Leary's point, the consultant needs to have skin in the game. They need to have something to lose for it to be worth the while. And that will let you learn how to be better as a practitioner. So think about that the next time you want to give someone some kind of consulting or advice or skills when you yourself probably haven't even done anything to have to put those skills to the test yourself. That's my pathology.